Okay, so today is the 23rd of November, 2020, and I'm going to be looking at some of these Supreme Court justices that are on and have been installed that don't have the qualifications of any experience, any court experience to be on the Supreme Court. They just don't belong there. So I want to see if we're going to bounce them. How that's, I just get a feeling there's going to be a big reset coming. And this is the Dark and Wayward Tarot. It combines kind of some of the Thoth card deck in it, but it's kind of takes a darker kind of a theme, and it's interesting. I'm finding it really accurate. I never usually I've used the Thoth deck before, and if anyone wants to correct me on the pronunciation, I looked it up, and it said Thoth or Toth or something like that. And I'm not saying it that way, because I don't think that's right. So this is the way I'm saying it, and it's one of the ways you can say Thoth's name, who was an Egyptian god. Anyway, from what I understand. I was never really big into Crowley and all of that, although I have used his deck before. I kind of have found the imagery kind of depressing, or the energy kind of depressing. But oddly enough, not so, despite how dark this deck is, and there's, they also add in the corner some interesting elements of, you can't see that so great, but it's small. And you can see, like, in this case, it's Venus and Mars, and the card is debauch, or the theme of it is, and it's cups. So, there's the little brief introduction to this deck. It does come with a little booklet. You can get it on Etsy. I'll put the name of the deck in the description box after I get the video up. But the deck is really cool, and it is worth a buy, I think. I'm kind of surprised that it's able to kind of sing to me in the way that it has in the last few days. But I have had to stop and go a little more slowly and look at some of the pamphlet to get insight. And then once I did that, I found that I'm intuitively was able to read. Maybe that was yesterday. But anyway, I'm sorry about the gardener outside somewhere across the street. They might be coming to my house too. But I'm hoping not. Okay. What I want to look, so I'm going to look at and focus on whether or not some of these, ill-qualified justices that have been given these jobs without being qualified, frankly, by experience, having any experience, just outrageous what these Republicans have done. Gone power mad. So let's see if their justices end up being impeached or bounced. I think they will. I think many of them will be, if not all. Just a gut feeling, just from, I don't know, that's always been with my sense of it. But let's see what the cards have to say. So I asked the ancestors and I asked my creator to help me to read intuitively and with my knowledge of the cards accurately. Okay. Let's see. Well, this is it. The only thing is that the symbols in the lower right and left corners are kind of small, but I can make them out without reading glasses. And part of this helps me to learn more astrology, that like I wanted to as a tarot reader, and become a little more like, you know, what the moon in Libra here would mean, or whatever this symbol is. And they're using the elements, which is helpful too. I like that. But this is the Two of Cups. No, I'm sorry, it's not the Two of Cups. It's a Two of Swords. Okay. You can see it says peace. And if I move my thumb, see the, or not. Okay. So that's like the Two of Swords. And this is already saying the nation, I feel like, looking inward. And the Knight. The interesting thing, like with this, okay, this is a Knight. They will use feminine warriors, if you will. Like, the artwork is really cool. Excuse me. With the birds, I'm going to say that she is doing at the Knight with End of Air, so Knight of Swords. Wow, that swiftly changes, though. And also this piece, or this, I think they could definitely, even just with the two cards, I think that these people could bounce. Because that Two of Swords is just making me feel like it's more like they feel like they're in place, like they're not going to move. And, but with people becoming more aware and more politically aware of what's been done, and as people continue to become more aware, I see action, demanding action. And we go from zeros to 60, really quickly with this card of like it's parked in neutral, to the Knight of Swords, which is a card of in your face. it's fast. And the Chariot. The Chariot is about justice. But I think also victory. So we're looking at, I believe, definitely an effort undertaken to have them removed. Yeah. And this is the Princess of... Is that Cups? Looks like cup. Yeah, Cups. Let me bring that into frame. Yeah. Okay, like one of the things that I wanted to point out, which is kind of cool with this deck, is that in its little booklet that I definitely need so I can learn these symbols more thoroughly, there's also some really cool quotes that they use, like this one for the Princess of Cups. Or, I'm sorry, or they call her the Princess of Water. And this is actually the card of Earth. It has Earth and Water. Earth of Water. And they will mix the elements a lot with these cards. And it gives you a certain kind of an alchemy of a energy, if you will. So this is Earth of Water. You will get two signs either way here. And the quote for the Princess of Water is, "Keep your electric eye on me, babe. Put your ray gun to my head. Press your space face close to mine, love. Freak out in a moonage daydream. Oh yeah." By David Bowie. And this can be about daydreaming. It can be about bringing... there's an element of kindness, of... it says here, empathy. And it has a bit of a dreamy, romantic element to it. She's dancing. Let me just see here. Yes. She is dancing beautifully, like a professional dancer. In the card. There we are. It's very beautiful. So this is the Princess of Water. So I see this, we will go from we right now what we have with regard to these people is to me, this card is speaking not so much, well, I think both. Speaking both about we need to have peace and the peace of mind. We don't want compromised people in our government, no matter who they are or what party or how they identify. And this looks to me like where these people, where they have been able just to kind of sit without any activity, and maybe this also refers to their lack of experience. There's nothing there, there's nothing, it's still, completely still. but it also represents that aspect with with these two swords crossing. It's not going to move. And it's to a very energetic card of movement, with the Knight here of Swords. Let's just take a look for fun at what the Knight of Swords card was. The quote for that one was, I'm curious. This card reminds me very much of, do you remember Missing Persons back in the 80s? Anybody old enough? Looks like the lead singer kind of reminds me of her. Anyway, Knight of Air. The way they've broken this down as well in this accompanying booklet is a little different than traditionally. So that takes some getting used to, but like the court cards, regardless of the element, are all in one section, and then you have the lower numbered cards beneath them, the pips. But they're all organized under a certain element. So you do have to kind of bounce a little bit, but it's not bad. It's just because it's different. And it's good. It's good to juggle things up a bit. I like change. I like trying stuff that's different. It's good for you. So let's see now. After all that chatter, the Knight of, here we go, Knight of Air. And it's Fire of Air. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, because I believe that this is fire. No, that would be air. Conveniently in the front of the book, it does give you a guide. So this is air here, and this empty triangle pointing upward is fire. Sometimes I do have to remind myself, because I've just not used that, but I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant to incorporate that on, and some of the words that they've used. But again, it's similar in that way to the Thoth deck. All right, so let's see. Knight of Air. I am Brian Watson. The rest of me is a mere appendix. And that's Arthur Conan Doyle. Oh, jeez. I messed it up. And I can't believe I did this. I definitely need more. I'm a brain. I just did what Trump did with Brian's. Wow. Ew. Less time on Twitter. I am a brain, Watson. The rest of me is a mere appendix. Arthur Conan Doyle. It's about clear insight, quick work, transition, setting emotions aside and thinking logically, mental sharpness, restlessness. This is intelligence. It is not content with this placement of people, I think, that don't have the experience. And the Chariot, to me, along with that Prince of Cups, is success I think, in having the support and the will of the people to have these people, I think probably if we pull some more cards, be removed or face some sort of scrutiny to bet, to get to know just who the heck they are, and to really take another look at if they're really suitable. This is swiftness, and it is the 8 of Wands, and it is Mars in Sagittarius. Mercury in Sagittarius. So that's the 8 of Wands. See, this is how I'm getting to know those things a little better and to understand what that energy is like through the tarot. So again, look at that. Around this card where I think these are where they hadn't, it's going to be one of those days where I can't talk again. Where they haven't had any experience and they've just been stuck up there on the shelf like a doll. That's just what comes to me. They're going to be taken off that shelf and examined and put under, I think, some high energy here of what will lead to, I believe, probably impeachment of some kind. Because there's a sense of victory with that Chariot. Oh, the gardeners are in my yard. Oh no. And this is the Prince of, this is the Prince of Earth, and I'm sorry about this horrible noise now. I'm just going to have to try to get loud. The Prince of Earth, Prince of Coins, but it would be, in this case, I believe, fire and earth. This is that kind of greedy card. But it can also be you see how he's holding, you see how he's holding, though, the globe and staff of dominion that usually kings and queens hold? He's got that in his hand. So I want to look at this as well. I might have to put this on pause if that gets way too loud, because I find the fire and the air combination with this fire card and air above it interesting. I'm going to go ahead and lay the other cards out. Then we get the Princess again, and it of earth and fire and what one is that? I always struggle with that. Air. See, I'm a little slow. So many distractions. I would have filmed yesterday, but there was just absolute chaos at my house. And there's still more chaos. Every time I tried to film, something happens. Somebody loses their mind, or we have gardeners showing up. They're supposed to show up on Fridays. But with the holiday... Anyway, this is Hermit. Alright, I'm going to put this on pause. Well, long story short, I feel that there will be issue about competence of the people that are there. That definitely comes up. And I feel like if they are not competent, I believe somehow they go, because I feel like this is competent people coming in that have the wisdom, that have the experience that we need, regardless of if they're conservative or whatever. Although I don't frankly want one more after this ever again, because they just seem to be prone to fascism too easily. There's adjustment. So this is the 8. This is I'm just trying to make sure it's not no, this is also known as probably justice, where you seek balance. No, maybe is it temperance? Anyway, it deals with adjusting things. So we will be changing these people, and I believe how not only this process but many other processes, I think, will be safeguarded, be working on safeguarding them. There's adjustment with it, definitely, and it's swift. If we look down vertically at this, we go from these people sitting there doing that have no experience to the swiftness card, which I feel like bounces them out, and there's an adjustment, and there's people that come in that do have the competence, where we've had indolence to deal with of the Trump administration has to be adjusted. I'm reading horizontally and simultaneously with the vertically, and horizontally there when I got that. There's change. So yeah, and the new beginning with the Ace of Cups. Yeah, I believe these people will go, and we will get people who have had experience with that Hermit. That they are wise. They have had a variety of experience, perhaps, but they are competent for the job, and I believe they will come in, and it will make a difference. There's an adjustment, and these people that have been given this job out of a lazy administration to lazy, incompetent people who didn't have the qualifications or experience, that's going to change. And I believe that they will probably definitely change the laws, excuse me, so that we don't see a repeat. So not only will these people go and be, I think, ejected pretty quickly with the swiftness card, but I also believe we will end up with people who will clear out the mess and the laziness in which Trump. I thought they'd be done. And Republicans have stuck people in there the way that they have. Just long story short. So I'm going to wrap this up with that, and I'll see you in the next video.